This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
Some go for fake mark sheets, the rest open up their pockets. Engineering seats available in any college of your choice as long as you have the budget.
That's the capitation fees that are not taking college. We are not taking, we will give commission 5,000, 10,000. That only we are taking.
Karunanidhi apps the pressure on the centre over the Lankan Tamils issue, urges Prime Minister to send an envoy to Sri Lanka. 5 victims rescued and 6 traffickers in judicial custody after the CBCID busts a major prostitution racket in Chulai-Medu. As the nation reels under the tragedy of children affected by HIV due to unsafe blood transfusions, exactly how safe is the procedure in city hospitals? Get your emission checks done or cough up the fine. Chennai Traffic Police cracks the whip on vehicle owners. Good evening, you're watching Headlines Now with me Divya on Ndtv-Hindu. Let's now take a look at the top national stories making headlines to date. It's a war of words over the Indo-Pak peace dialogue. India's Foreign Secretary tells NDTV that Pakistan needs to introspect on terror as policy. Umar Abdullah briefs Home Minister on the situation in his state, says there is need to stop the inflow of funds to those instigating some of the protests. As pressure mounts on him, Karnataka Chief Minister meets the Home Minister, says he will sack the Reddys if there is proof against them.
There is no charges against any ministers. If there is charges within 24 hours, I am going to...
And a Bihar court summons Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi over the Durga poster issue. Well, our top story tonight, counselling for engineering courses in Tamil Nadu is well underway, and the young and crooked who are not producing fake mark sheets have a more surefire way to getting a seat, money, and lots of it at that. Getting an admission to a top college is just a 2-day job with the right moolah. Our education reporter Minal Shah investigated one such agent, and what she found out was quite shocking.
This little office in T Nagar is the key to get into any engineering college in the city with or without merit. The better the reputation of the college, the more you will have to pay to this man. On asking for a seat, the agent puts up his price tag.
We are taking 10 admission for Anna University. Okay. That one is my quota is over. 18 lakhs capitation.
18 lakhs for Anna University.
Campus, inside campus.
Good.
SRM group. Usually they are charging 7 lakhs capitation.
Can you fill in JPR, how much will it be?
7.7.
This is profit season for this consultancy and many such in the city. The agent alone sells 400 seats a year.
But the people came in means, but that capitation fees that are not taking college, we are not taking, they will give commission 5,000, 10,000, that only we are taking.
Some consultancies are more than 10 years old and have connections all over the country. The recent IT raids made the consultancy shift vocation but not profession. In fact, the agent has only become more swift. Instead of a few days, a seat is now available within 2 days. Just pay in cash. So while the state enjoys the reputation of lending a premier quality education in engineering, the government is immune to the open secret that education is actually up for sale. And there seems to be no discount here. In Chennai, Minal Shah, Ndtv-Hindu.
And when we approached the Vice Chancellor of Anna University for his reaction to how these seats are being sold by such touts, his reaction was quite positive. Let's listen to what he had to say.
See, the policy of the government is the admission should be fair, and self-financing colleges they should not get any excess fee or capitation fee. If specific complaint is received, then the 3-member committee will look into that matter, and whatever appropriate action is to be taken, it will be taken.
And joining us today in our studios is Dr. Kalanidhi, the former Vice Chancellor of Anna University. And we also have our reporter Minal Shah, who busted this entire racket, joining us live from our newsroom there. Well, Dr. Kalanidhi, thanks very much for coming to our studios and welcome. And well, to begin with, we've had so many stories busting of how capitation fees are charged in some things as basic as nursery schools as to 1 lakh. So certainly an engineering college seat is when it comes to capitation fees or something like this, the price is huge. It comes with a bigger price tag. And when we spoke to this Vice Chancellor, as you saw, his reaction was totally passive to this. What is your reaction to this entire racket?
No, he has not said anything about the agent saying that 18 lakhs is the price of Anna University seat.
Right.
And he has not made any comment about it. I think it's a serious matter that we have to look into it, and the government, if they are serious enough, then they must immediately arrest such agents and then take serious action if they are serious about it.
Right. So we have seen this case increasing by the years. Over the years, we've seen a lot more agents coming up. And you've been the former Vice Chancellor of this university. So how do you think, from the college's perspective, this can be curbed?
You see, I would consider that the license Raj is still in existence, and therefore the institutions which have got their license for running the institution, they think they can charge money and then they collect capitation. Others who want to run the institution, they have to go through the process of getting license, and that costs so much, and therefore the corruption starts there. So once they pay so heavily and then come back here, they would love to collect at least 10 times the money that they paid per annum. So this is how it gets multiplied. So unless you dealing the license Raj and allow more private partners to get inside and then start, the students will look for quality education and then go for it. Now they are not looking for quality education, they are looking for only label.
Right. So you would also put this onus on this increase in the seat education up for sale on the students as well?
No, I would say the license Raj, to get a license to start an institution is so heavy and so cumbersome. And you pay through this and then come back, and then naturally you start collecting capitation.
Right.
And if there are more number of institutions without this restrictions, then automatically they will not charge money and they will try to offer quality education, and the students will only look for quality education which is being offered in any institution, and they will go for such institution. Now the quality is in the back seat. In the front seat only the corruption, capitation, etc.
Right. So when you were saying that if the government is serious about this, they will go ahead with the rest of these license Raj, as you put in.
Yeah.
But now, just 2 days back, a committee now has been formed to keep a tab on these capitation fees and anything to monitor all that has been going wrong there, such as these touts selling these seats. So
I have my own doubts about the constitution of the committee itself.
Right.
Because the chairman himself is not an experienced vice chancellor from an engineering university.
He's from an open university.
Yeah, then you can understand how serious the government is. And they have to tell why they have put him and instead of the other technical university vice chancellors available in the country here.
So who do you think is the person who is who is the best to monitor something as strong as this?
I'm not saying anything on this. When they have a separate council for technical education, why don't you consider somebody who has the best experience in technical education in running the university and put him as the vice chairman, and look at the antecedent of such vice chancellors also. I don't say straight away put them. Look at the antecedents.
So you don't think this committee will be effective?
I have my own doubt.
Right, sir. Our reporter Minal Shah, who actually busted this entire racket and brought this to light, now joins us live from the newsroom. Yes, Minal, go ahead with your questions for Dr. Kalanidhi we have here in our studio.
Dr. Kalanidhi, first things that I wanted to point out is that you said that the government needs to take up stringent more measures, but they have been doing their bit by actually involving IT raids, bringing out IT raids, busting colleges and ensuring that students get quality education. But do you think these IT raids are enough? Because when we spoke to the tout, he said that the IT raids are actually a major hindrance. They actually didn't say that it stopped them from actually performing and continuing with their business. It just became a problem to such an extent that They just had to move their applications, clear the room, make it look very neat, so that when the IT raids come on, the room, there's spick and span, there's no problem at all. Do you think that the government is doing enough, especially in the form of IT raids and busting colleges and ensuring that these agents aren't curbed?
No. When you say IT raids are being conducted, they conduct one or two institutions, as if these one or two institutions are involved in this kind of racket. The capitation collection is being carried on in many of the institutions, and this is known to the general public. When
No,
it is
but
known,
what I was talking about is
wait. When it is known to the general public, you mean to say this is not known to the authorities who are taking serious action on them? And if they are keeping quiet and raid only on one or two institutions, what does it indicate?
Exactly. What does it indicate, sir, according to you?
No, it is open secret.
What is the open secret?
You see, when they want to conduct raid only on two institutions, leaving hundreds of institutions which are collecting capitation, and who are all the institutions which are collecting capitation is also known to the general public. When a matter which is known to the general public, and if this is not known to the people who are conducting raid, it is a mockery of the whole system, governance.
Right. Are you trying to say that the institutions are being targeted on purpose?
I can't cast aspersion on this, but I can only say that they are leaving the remaining institutions and conducting only on two institutions, which is not fair.
Right, sir. What I believe now here is that the ones who are maximum targeted is the students. They bear the brunt of this entire scam, because the students who actually work hard and who actually score those marks are the ones who are suffering, and injustice is meted out to those students.
I'm sorry, when you say student means, don't categorize all students as students.
What does that mean, sir,
the students who are having less marks, they would like to go through by hook or crook, get into the best institution, and there they go through the touts and pay more money and then look for it. So don't say students are put into trouble. When you say like this, that means as if students are all good and the institutions are bad. The students are also the right qualified students, they don't get the opportunity. This is the problem.
Precisely, sir. There's, on the other hand, possibly because since only merit is considered as something, that's when fake mark sheets and something as paying money to the agents comes up, because those students don't do well. Because our institutions are primarily designed in a way such that only top scorers, only the state rank holders can get in eventually. So only so the students who do not do so well in those lines, who do not fare that excellent line, actually have to go through ways like this, sometimes who have money can go into something like this. Now, don't you think something as a right to education is a right that has to be for all?
You know what, when you said the fake mark sheets, it reminds me two things. You look at IIT, they conduct only entrance examination and they depend only on entrance examination. You don't have a fake market business there. Whereas in our case, we don't want to trust the entrance examination and go in for this kind of a system which is so much of false.
In a way, sir, maybe because many of them who do get into the fake mark sheets into IITs cannot possibly survive in that.
No. They don't have fake mark sheet at all.
Right.
They have to go through the entrance examination, and the entrance examination mark only is being considered for getting admission into IITs.
Right. I have a question for Dr. Kalanidhi. Sir, you had mentioned that capitation, you said that students are also to be equally blamed, because when they don't perform well, they then come to these touts. But the point is that when we spoke to this agent, he said that the capitation fees is mainly asked by the colleges. The colleges give them seats and ask them to sell it, and then they get a percentage of it. Do you think that the colleges also on their behalf are actually making a huge mistake by encouraging these agents so that they can collect capitation from students?
You know what, the colleges are being run by a trust, which is a charitable trust, which is a non-profitable basis. The trust is being formed and the institutions are running. But seldom they are running on a non-profitable basis. So there are two things in this. When this is being formed under the Indian Trust Act, now the Government of India can take action whether is it going as per the Trust Act. If they are not going, then they can take over the trust. When this is not there, then the income tax department can also go through their accounts, whether it is a non-profitable basis the accounts are being submitted.
Right, sir. Eventually, whether it's private institutions or institutions run by these charity organizations, it is the truth that these touts are functioning, in fact, functioning very well and flourishing in these. And like I said, once again, it's the students who bear the brunt of this. And our reporter Minalcha, in fact, spoke to some of the students and parents. Let's listen to how they were reacting to this entire situation.
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிக்கிறாங்க. கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிச்சுட்டு அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் வந்து படிக்கணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஆம்பிஷனோட தான் எல்லாருமே படிக்கிறாங்க. படிக்கும்போது அதெல்லாம் வந்து விற்கிறாங்கன்னும் போது அது ஏற்றுக்கவே முடியாது.
Because of these agents, despite of getting good marks also, I'm not able to get in a preferable college. Forced to going to another college.
நிறையா மதிப்பெண் எடுத்து வர பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு இருந்தாலும் அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் வந்து இடம் கிடைக்கிறது இல்லைங்கிறதால நிறைய பேர் வந்து இந்த பிரைவேட் தனியார் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் கோட்டாவில் போகிறாங்க. அந்த சீட் வந்து வியாபாரமாக்கப்படுது. அதை வந்து நாம் அதுக்கு போகாமல் நேரடியாக நம்ம இந்த கலந்தாய்வு கூட்டத்தில் எல்லாருக்குமே படித்தவங்க எல்லாத்துக்குமே அந்த அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் சீட்டு கிடைக்குதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு நம்பிக்கையில் தான் நாங்கள் ஒவ்வொரு முறையும் இந்த கலந்தாய்வு கூட்டத்தில் கலந்துக்கிறோம்.
The agents, they really take off the right of a student for getting into a good college.
The education is a commercialization. அப்போ அது வந்து என்ன ஒரு வியாபார ரீதியாக தான் இருக்குன்ற மாதிரி தான் தெரியுது இன்றைக்கி. அதில் வந்து சந்தேகமாக கிடையாது.
Well, Dr. Kalanandi, as you just saw now, many parents and many students over there shocked and in fact worried over all those hard work, all that effort has just been gone on to waste because of these touts practicing. So before we wrap up this disco, your final comments on this.
My final comment is that the government has to be very serious and the concerned authorities like UGC, AICTE, the Indian Trust Act regulating authorities and the police and the income tax department.
Right.
They have to be serious in their job and ensure that such corrupt practices are curbed.
And they say they haven't taken this up unless because they've still not got an official complaint over this. So do you think, I mean, many students who are aware of this, who know that this kind of functioning happens in the colleges where they are studying should also come out and actually bring this to light so that this
You know what,
curbed?
I don't understand one thing, that you want every time a written complaint. When there is a road accident takes place, the police comes and takes action straight away without any written complaint. Like this, there is something happening here which is against the law. Now, law protecting agencies, if they cannot, if they say that they have to get a written complaint, then where to go in the society, tell me.
Right, so very valid question raised there in the end of the discussion. That's exactly what we've been looking for. And thanks very much for joining us in our discussion on headlines now.
Thank you.
Well, clearly education here is up for sale and there is no discount here. We only have to wait and see if this new committee formed will just be an eyewash or actually help us bust this entire racket. Well, moving on, the anti-trafficking cell of crime branch CID has busted a major prostitution racket in the city at Chulemeda. On a tip-off from the senior CBCID officers, they have trapped 6 traffickers and rescued 5 victims from the brothel. And all the 6 accused have been remanded to judicial custody. The victims aged between 19 and 25 will now be taken to rehabilitation. And for more on this, joining us now is Ms. Archana Ramasundram, the ADGP with the CBCID. Well, ma'am, you've nabbed 6 traffickers today in this entire racket. Can you expand as to what this whole modus operandi is behind this interstate racket?
The modus operandi more or less is the same for most of these gangs. The girls are usually from other states because there is an element of anonymity and some of the victims also they prefer it that way. These the data, the photographs of these girls are circulated and then they are flown to that particular place. This is what has happened in this case also.
Well, while we know that the ones you've nabbed are in judicial custody now, the victims that have been rescued, the 5 girls, they will be sent for rehabilitation. But many of them seem to come back to business after a temporary break whenever they are sent to rehabilitation.
See, this is a problem which is beyond the scope of an enforcement agency like ours, because the problem of trafficking has got socio-economic dimensions. So And it is not correct to say that in everybody's case the rehabilitation does not succeed. There are cases where perhaps the girls have not come back to this profession. But yes, by and large, the factors which have compelled them in the first place to come to this profession, if they continue, then there is every reason that they will revert.
Well, like you said, in many of these cases, many of them might be compelled to come to this profession. Now, in recent cases such as the one that you've cracked today, a majority of these women are from other states. So what is the main reason for this?
When we interact with these victims, we find that there is a slight embarrassment with their close peer group, with their family and relatives. So if it is a different place, a different state altogether, then to that extent perhaps it helps them. And this, I think, has been a reason. Another reason which of course acts as far as minors are concerned, the moment you bring a person to other state, to a different place, you increase her vulnerability. They are under the control of these agents, and that control increases if they are moved away from their place. So this, in my opinion, are the two major reasons of victims being from different places.
Right, Ms. Archana Ramasundram, thanks very much indeed for joining us and talking to us and giving us all those details on that racket you busted today. Well, there's lots more coming up on Headlines Now. On the other side, stay with us.